Virginia's apple industry has traditionally focused largely on producing apples for processing into vinegar, pie fillings, and juice. That's still an important part of the industry, and there are several processors in Virginia, like White House Foods. But the local foods movement is helping boost the profile of fresh Virginia apples to consumers.
There's also a big shift happening, and that is towards away from processing to fresh market apples. So these would be the varieties that we're used to seeing in the supermarket. Gala and Fuji, and now Honeycrisp, Golden Delicious even, and those varieties that are more typically for fresh consumption. Those apple varieties tend to command a higher price back to the growers than the processing varieties, and so that's why that's happening.
Fresh Virginia apples are also going into a new product, one that has been taking the market by storm.
The cider market is exploding around the country, on the East Coast here too. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I'm going to say 3 years ago there might have been 4 different cideries in Virginia, and now they're popping up all over the place. And the other thing that's a real dead giveaway is what I call the big boys. The beer brewers have gotten into the market too. So yeah, it's here to stay, I think. The way all this works, the reason it works out so well, is Fruit Hill Orchard has 3,000 acres of fruit, and we grow multiple varieties. So everything that is in the juice that is fermented to make Malice, which is our signature hard cider, is 99% our fruit.
Apples grow well in Frederick County near Winchester, Virginia. There's limestone soil, good elevation, and lots of light for the trees. In fact, apples have been grown at Marker Miller Orchards for about 75 years. They sell to lots of different customers.
Probably 60% of it still goes to processing, mainly Nelson, Pennsylvania. The other 40% is sold either bulk, wholesale to other orchards. We also grade apples and supply a lot of fruit stands between here and Northern Virginia.
The Pick Your Own season for apples at Marker Miller Orchards begins the first week of August and continues through the end of October.
We grow 22 different varieties here from July to November. So personally, of course I've grown up on these apples. I have to say that the varieties that we've chosen range from tart to sweet and in between. So I think we have a wide variety to offer everybody because everyone has different taste. So that's what we try to encourage. And we give samples all the time so people can find that perfect apple.
The number of Virginia apple orchards increased to 733 in the last census of agriculture. That's 107 more orchards than 5 years earlier. Growers earn about $31 million a year from apple sales, and that number should increase as a number of new orchards begin bearing fruit. Many of the families running these orchards are multi-generational. Their grandparents have been farming that land, and their children and grandchildren are coming back to the farm.
Where the Virginia growers are seeing opportunity and where they're having some success is in our buy local campaigns and being able to supply consumers in the nearby region. So the Virginia growers are very fortunate in that there's a huge consumer base in the DC metropolitan area and really the eastern seaboard. And so a lot of our fresh market apples are going to those consumers, but we're also seeing the reverse happening, which is those consumers are coming more and more out to the farm. And they want to come out, they want to be involved in agriculture, they want to learn about how apples are grown, they want to pick those apples and taste them fresh off the tree. And those are the greatest consumers because once they taste a fresh apple, they don't go back to tasting cardboard apples. They want juicy, high sugar, high flavor apples from our growers.
In addition to apples, many Virginia orchard owners are now also raising peaches and vegetables, growing cherries, and doing all they can to offer local foods to consumers year-round. Many farm visitors can now shop and bring home a full week's worth of produce in addition to a bushel of apples. In Frederick County, Virginia, this is Dave Miller.